It's 4 o'clock in Melbourne and these are our top stories. The first international travellers returning to Melbourne head straight into quarantine. It's Freedom Day, major restrictions ease and mask rules relaxed. Also, new rights for casual workers, details live from Canberra. A sudden wild windstorm hits Horsham in the state's west. And the alcohol debate. How many drinks do you have each week? We'll discuss the new advice.
Live from Melbourne, this is 7's Afternoon News with Jacqueline Felgate.
First at 4, the first international travellers have returned to Melbourne and are right now settling into quarantine hotels across the city. On what is our 38th straight day of no new COVID cases, it's a major test for the state government under the authority of Police Minister Lisa Neville. Let's bring in Cameron Bowe now, who's been tracking developments all day. Good afternoon, Cam.
We're outside one of the hotels which has been dubbed a hot hotel. This is where they're bringing travellers who have extra healthcare needs. It's one of the major changes that have been introduced in Victoria's second version of hotel quarantine. That's separating healthy travellers from those who are ill or who have symptoms of COVID. This program will be one of Victoria's biggest challenges in dealing with this pandemic. There has been a false start over the weekend when 2 German nationals managed to make it to Melbourne via Sydney. Today there will be 253 travellers entering quarantine. That's a significant increase on the original expectation of 125 travellers. The first arrivals touched down at around 7:45 this morning on a flight from Sri Lanka. It took more than 3 hours for them to be processed at the airport.
We are very confident that we have put in place the most stringent risk management structures and oversight that we can possibly do.
Victoria Police is entirely responsible for the security of this program. In addition, there are hundreds of staff working in administration and infection control and prevention. However, there are some elements of this program which are still being worked out. They include a new law which is needed to enable the government to be able to charge travellers for some of the costs, and also finalising just how many ADF members will be involved in this program.
In breaking news, there's been a major border announcement from the WA Premier. Travellers from Victoria and New South Wales will no longer have to quarantine for 14 days when arriving in Western Australia from midnight WA time tonight.
All Perth airport arrivals must undergo a health screening and temperature test on arrival.
South Australians will join the very low risk category from Friday morning. Victorians are enjoying more freedom today than they have in months, from a relaxing of mask rules to being able to stand and have a beer at the pub. Laurel Irving has more.
Well, this was the day so many of us had been waiting for, the first day of what the Premier calls COVID normal. And for the first time in months, we're actually allowed to stand at the bar to have a beer. Many rules have changed today. Pubs, cafes and restaurants can have a lot more patrons inside. For many of them, this means that they can actually start making money for the first time in a long time. Mask rules have changed as well. They're only required now in high-risk areas like public transport and shopping centres. Hairdressers now, for the first time in months, can speak to their clients without having masks on. Today has been a day of huge smiles in many industries.
This is so good for us and so good for Melbourne. I mean, what better congratulations than being able to open and come and have a beer at the pub. It's been so long.
It is fantastic, I've got to say. Wearing masks for the last, it's been about 7 weeks since we first started. It's made my day so much better.
It's got a lot, a lot easier, which everyone's ringing. Can I have the canapes? Yes, you can have the canapes. Can I dance? Yes, you can dance. So that's been really fun, and it's good to finally give people good news.
The Hotels Association says almost all of Victoria's pubs have emerged from this year's lockdown, but the real reckoning for the industry will actually be early next year, March into April, when the government supports like JobKeeper stop and many of them have to go back to making full loan repayments. The industry says that's when it'll know how many businesses have been able to survive COVID. But today is the start of a long, happy COVID normal summer.
The jury in rugby league star Jared Haynes' rape trial has been discharged after they were unable to reach a unanimous or a majority verdict. He walked out of court this afternoon holding hands with his girlfriend, facing the prospect of a retrial.
I told the truth and I'll do it all again. So.
How are you feeling after the outcome?
Oh, disappointed, but...
Jared, has this process been mentally exhausting for you?
Hayne is accused of sexually assaulting a woman at her home in Newcastle in 2018, which he denies. We'll have more on this story, including the reaction from defence lawyers and prosecutors that is coming up in this bulletin. Homicide Squad detectives are investigating the death of a man after an altercation in country Victoria. It happened on Bailey Street, Alexandra, just before 2 o'clock this morning. A 62-year-old man has been arrested and remains in custody. A sudden wild windstorm has damaged at least 20 buildings in Horsham. Roofs were ripped off and trees were toppled just after midnight at the northern end of town. Some residents were injured in the terrifying storm.
I just heard this mighty rush and a bang, and next thing I'd pulled the sheets up over us, and the next thing the glasses landed on top of us in bed.
It has been deemed an F1 tornado with winds between 138 and 177 kilometres per hour. More than 1 million casual workers will be given new rights by their employers under laws introduced by the Morrison government. Political reporter Jennifer Beshwati joins me live now from Canberra. Good afternoon, Jen. This could lead to more people being offered full-time employment.
Yeah, that's right, Jackie. Under these laws, bosses must offer full-time or part-time employment to casuals if they've had regular hours or been in the same job for more than 12 months. It's one of a raft of changes that have been introduced into the Parliament this week and has been developed after consultation with businesses and unions. A single definition of a casual worker has also been proposed to give bosses certainty about pay loading and leave entitlements, but unions are worried that the set definition will lead to fewer rights for workers.
People who have actually already lost hours, pay, rights, anything that sees them go backwards in this legislation, we will resist.
There are things in this bill that the unions won't particularly love. There are things in this bill that business groups are not going to particularly love as well. What we will go into now is a second stage of consultation.
And Jen, there's been a further backlash within the defence community over the Afghanistan inquiry.
Yeah, that's right, Jackie. Many are angry over the collective punishment that's given to many, despite only a handful of wrongdoers identified in the Brereton War Crimes report. As 7 News revealed last night, about 60 SAS members have threatened to quit. Some have already put in their discharge notices. Many are now calling for the decision to disband the regiment's 2nd Squadron to be overturned. But the Defence Minister, Linda Reynolds, said this morning that she backs the decisions that have been made.
I fully support the CDF and how he is approaching this. There is no quick fix to this. There are no easy solutions and there is no simple thing.
Now, some veterans unhappy with the way that the report has been handled have gone so far as to call for the Chief of the Defence Force to step aside. Jackie?
Jennifer Beshwati in Canberra, thank you. Donald Trump has confirmed his personal lawyer has coronavirus. Former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani, who's leading the president's attempt to overturn the election result, is being treated in hospital. US correspondent David Woerwood has more.
He's the president's right-hand man and personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, now the latest member of Team Trump to test positive to COVID-19. The president made the announcement on Twitter, posting Rudy Giuliani, by far the greatest mayor in the history of New York City and who has been working tirelessly exposing the most corrupt election by far in the history of the United States, has tested positive for the China virus. Get better soon, Rudy. We will carry on. The 76-year-old has been crisscrossing the country in recent weeks, pushing the president's claims of voter fraud and rigging in key battleground states, appearing maskless in a live Fox News interview today, hours before his positive diagnosis was made public. This in Georgia on Thursday, Mr Giuliani face-to-face with lawmakers in Atlanta, high fives for supporters, and at a hearing in Michigan just 4 days ago, asking a witness to remove her mask.
Would you be comfortable taking your mask off?
The high-profile case as American hospitals buckle under the strain of soaring infection rates, a vaccine still weeks away, experts still saying masks are America's best defence.
I hear community members parroting back those situations, parroting back that masks don't work. And I think our job is to constantly say those are myths.
Almost 2,200 deaths across the country yesterday as America inches ever closer to 300,000 dead.
Do you set a limit on how many alcoholic drinks you have each week? There's new advice out today and it sparked a nationwide debate. That's up next. And all aboard, Wills and Kate embark on a royal train tour across the UK. We're back soon across Victoria and Tasmania.
The Big Bash Fast Start. 7 nights in a row at 7 on 7.
That is unbelievable.
It's the biggest start ever. Hobart in Sydney sees the big hitters facing the reigning champs. The Big Bash starts Thursday on 7.
Your destination is only the beginning. The BMW 320i sedan from 72,900 drive away. Let it take you. Search BMW 3 Series.
There's a place for us, somewhere a place for us. Peace and quiet and open air. Wait for us somewhere. There's a time for us, a time and place for us. Hold my hand and we're halfway there. Hold my hand and I'll take you there. Somehow,
Bring on the surprises they'll never see coming this Christmas with 20 to 40% off toys. Big W, every day's a big day.
La 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 la, la 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 la. Dabba 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 da.
Bring on the gifts they deserve more than ever with hundreds of new toys from brands like Lego, Barbie and Paw Patrol. Big W, every day's a big day.
One in 3 Australians are reaping the benefits of cutting out or cutting back on meat. Get your free veg starter kit at vegkit.com.
Bring on Christmas. You can shop safely in-store and online with contactless pickup and home delivery. Big W, every day's a big day.
Discover better buys for kids at Target, like 20% off toys from these big brands, including Lego, Barbie, Fisher-Price and more. Offer ends December 9. Exclusions and conditions apply. Find more better buys in-store or online.
If you've been injured at work, call PK Simpson Superannuation Lawyers. Make a successful claim with PK Simpson wherever you are in Australia. Call us now to find out your benefits. Homer doesn't work here, but PK does.
Residents on Queensland's Fraser Island are being told to evacuate as emergency services battle an intense blaze in difficult conditions. Hundreds of thousands of litres of water have been dropped on the island, including from a 737 water bomber. Elliot Chipper has the latest.
Happy Valley residents and firefighters have been working relentlessly to protect their town from this massive blaze. Emergency services warned residents to evacuate immediately late yesterday afternoon as the fire, fanned by strong winds and high temperatures, threatened their slice of paradise. But many stayed to fight.
A large majority of those people are volunteer firefighters, so they're helping with the firefighting around the township.
What started from an illegal campfire 7 weeks ago has now burnt half the island.
They have a huge QFIS presence down there, lots of fire trucks, lots of firefighters. So I'm sure they're doing everything they possibly can.
Backburning a kilometre north of Happy Valley overnight and this morning, helping to keep properties protected.
This is a very serious situation on Fraser Island. You only have to look at the horrendous temperatures that we're experiencing over there.
The smoke, the ash, the embers are going to be blowing directly onto them. It's going to be tough.
Help also coming from the air. 17 aircraft have continued to drop hundreds of thousands of litres of water on the hilly terrain and dense bush. New South Wales helping the battle on the World Heritage listed island, sending a 737 water bomber capable of dumping 15,000 litres in seconds. To break the back of this blaze, firefighters either need a change in wind direction or some rain, neither of which is on the horizon, just a potential thunderstorm which could make conditions even more dangerous.
The alcohol industry is pushing back against moves to reduce the recommended number of drinks each week from 14 to 10. To look at both sides of the debate now, we have Andrew Willsmore from industry group Alcohol Beverages Australia. Hello to you, and leading Melbourne GP, Dr Sally Coburn. Good afternoon to you both. We'll go to Andrew first. You're saying that the move to reduce the number of drinks is based on flawed logic. Can you explain that to us?
Yeah, well, it all depends on the level of risk you're looking to undertake. In Canada, for example, they assess the level of risk of a drinker versus a non-drinker. And in that example, you're allowed up to 28 drinks in a week. What they've done in Australia is assess the level against a 1 in 100 risk. And despite having a table of information showing differences between men and women, depending on how often they drink in the week, they've actually just cherry-picked a number for a woman who drinks 3 times a week. So it seems a bit perplexing as to how they came to the recommendation they did when there's quite a deal of difference between a man and a woman depending on how often they drink.
And Sally, for a lot of people, 10 standard drinks isn't much at all. Do you think we're being too conservative with the guidelines here?
Look, I think we're talking about personal risk, and I work in a personalised medicine way, and I think that I hear what Andrew's saying about taking cherry picking, but I think we need to look at an individual. And if an individual has got down to the point where they're thinking, should I have 14 or should I have 10, I think you need to really assess your addiction potentially to alcohol.
And Andrew, it's only natural that you'd want to talk up the industry, but you have some points to make about the health benefits of alcohol?
Yeah, the science that they looked into in setting these guidelines was quite clear in that there is, at a moderate level of consumption, quite significant benefits from moderate levels of alcohol. Roughly 3,500 Australian lives are saved, and a lot of that benefit comes down to the cardioprotective effects of moderate consumption. But we're lucky here in Australia in that we're going through a massive cultural change where moderation is the new norm. We're drinking at 50-year lows. This youngest generation coming through is exactly what we want them to be, which is drinking responsibly. And that's sweet news for our winemakers, brewers and distillers, because they go to a lot of effort making their products and they want them to be enjoyed responsibly.
Now, Sally, you're known as Dr Feelgood. Would you argue, though, with Andrew's claim there about the health benefits?
Look, I know about it, and I'm sure all my patients jumped up and down and thought it was fabulous when we learned that a couple of glasses of red might help your cholesterol. But let's look at the harm, and there's no question that especially around family violence, around risk-taking behaviour, there are some serious harms. I know the alcohol industry wants to address those too, and I think that's fabulous. We should work together on making sure that those people who are at risk know that they shouldn't take those risks.
You both certainly make some great points this afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Parts of Italy have been inundated after a weekend of heavy rain. Strong winds and snow batter the north. Some areas have been cut off after a river burst its banks. Authorities using inflatable boats carrying out more than 2,000 rescues. This bridge collapsed during the wild weather, a fire truck crashing into the riverbed below. And they're on avalanche alert in nearby mountains after nearly 1.5 metres of snow fell during the storm. And in a year dominated by lockdown, Prince William and Kate have embarked on a royal tour. The pair is using the royal train for their 3-day, 10-stop trip, thanking frontline workers. From fresh fruit to seafood, it could cost more to put healthy food on the table this Christmas. After the break, what's up and what's down? Plus, in sport with Sean Salby, day 1 of the AFL's pre-season. Stay with us right here from 7.
The ultimate four-wheel Chrissy present will be given away. A new Ford Everest. Your chance to win on Sunrise tomorrow.
Thinking about your future? Host Plus is a top-performing industry super fund that puts you first. So whatever plans you had, with Host Plus, your future is in good hands. Host Plus, we go with you.
Cancer never rests, so neither do we. If you have questions about cancer that you'd like to ask our Cancer Council nurses, please call 13 11 20.
Every Australian deserves an easy win with free coffees, Slurpees, snacks and more to help redeem 2020. Download the My 7-Eleven app today.
Did somebody say menu love?
If you love hard-boiled eggs but hate watching water boil, then tediously peeling off shells, you need EggPod, a new kind of microwave egg cooker that does all the work for you. Fresh eggs go in. Perfectly cooked eggs come out with the shells detached from the egg. Just slide and enjoy. Simply add water, place your eggs, then cook in the microwave. Next, simply shake in the EggPod and the shell slides right off. The secret is the microwave-safe design that creates steam convection, so your eggs cook evenly and consistently. Then, as you shake, the textured dome gently releases the shell from the white, so it slides right off. That's right, you just steam, shake, and slide for ready-to-eat eggs anytime. And EggPod is faster and easier than traditional stovetop cooking. No broken egg whites, no peeling, and no watching a pot boil. Now you can easily make hard-boiled eggs for a delicious egg salad, or slice them for a hearty chef salad. Prepare tasty deviled eggs with ease, and sliced egg sandwiches that are sure to please. EggPod is great when you're in a hurry. Just pop it in the microwave and enjoy a healthy breakfast on the go. Compact and dishwasher safe, EggPod is easy to clean and easy to store too. So why make eggs the old-fashioned way when you can quickly prepare them the new way with EggPod? Call Global Shop Direct or go online now to order EggPod for the low price on your screen. With EggPod, you just steam, shake and slide for ready-to-eat eggs anytime. No broken egg whites, no peeling and no watching a pot boil. You'll love how evenly and consistently EggPod cooks your eggs. But if you're not completely satisfied, just send it back within 30 days for a full refund of the product price. Don't miss out on this incredible microwave egg cooker that does all the work for you. Order your EggPod today.
Taking a live look at our city on this Monday afternoon. It is just 15 degrees outside right now, and Jane Bunn will be here with the forecast in about half an hour. Time now for sport, though, with Sean Salby. And Sean, how good's this? Pre-season training has started across the AFL.
Jack, footy's back. All first to fourth year players hit the track today, along with some new recruits and super keen stars of the competition. Chief Football Reporter Mark Stevens has been following all of the action at training. Steve-o, the young guns were pushed to the limit.
That's right, Sean. I started today by heading out to Tullamarine. Different conditions to what we're used to, of course, after so long in Queensland. A little bit windy and wet as the young players really went through their paces. Jai Caldwell there, you can see on the left of screen. He looks fantastic as well. Several senior players there. It was good to see Heppel running around, and the new coach, Ben Rutten, not moving as quick as he used to in his playing days, but certainly hands-on. You can see there Darcy Parish doing some wrestling. There's a real good feeling at Essendon as Rutten has taken the reins. The man they call Truck is now in the driver's seat at the Bombers, and he's spoken today about his style and how he'll be a coach of really a personable level and talking to the players.
We want to get better, and the players are driving that as much as I am. So I'll certainly be pushing us to get better, also be supporting them as well at the same time. I mean, there's a big part of me, I'm a relationships coach, and I want to support our players, and we'll do it in the right way.
Now, training here for all clubs really kicked off today. First to 4-year players out at Waverley. They had a time trial as well. Finn McGuinness won the 2K time trial. It doesn't help you get a kick, but it certainly helps you get the eye of the coach as you head into a new season. So the Hawks in better conditions there earlier this morning, looking pretty good as well as they relaunch. You can see there Mitchell as well. Tom Mitchell, the superstar, was there. Certainly interesting at the Bulldogs too. Another senior player, Lockie Hunter. He's putting a lot of extra work at the moment. No need to be there technically until after Christmas, but Hunter out at the Bulldogs has been doing a lot of extra fitness work, and several other players, including Easton Wood, and you can see there Zane Cordy as well having a run with Alex Keith. So all the older players are back a little bit earlier than we thought. It's great to have footy back, Sean.
It sure is. Thanks, Steve-O. Well, Victorian prodigy Will Pucovski has failed to seize his opportunity to solidify an Australian debut in next Thursday's first test against India. The 22-year-old took 17 balls to score a run and didn't last much longer.
Out, straight to point. So it's over without really starting for Pucovski. Out for one.
But Pucovski wasn't alone. Joe Burns also fell cheaply for 4, leaving Australian selectors with more questions than answers. And last night, Hardik Pandya blasted 42 not out off just 22 balls to destroy the Aussies in the second T20 match. Needing 14 off the last over, he only needed 4 balls from debutant Daniel Sams.
Enormous hit!
That's gone. It's gone.
Will not get that. Hardik Pandya wins the game for India off his own bat.
Earlier, Matthew Wade starred as the stand-in skipper for the injured Aaron Finch. India now has an unassailable 2-0 series lead before Game 3 at the SCG tomorrow night. It was a wild Formula One Grand Prix in Bahrain with the chaos starting on lap 1. Filling in for Lewis Hamilton, Brit George Russell was headed for victory before 2 blunders by his pit crew. It allowed Sergio Perez to claim the first victory of his 10-year career.
Yes, Checo, P1.
Miss pitch, guys. Good job, guys.
Perez is the first Mexican to win an F1 race in 50 years, but doesn't have a job for next year just yet.
That'll probably change.
I think it will, Jack. And we'll have plenty more footy news coming up in our 6 o'clock bulletin. We'll hear from the Pies and also the reigning premiers, the Tigers.
Nice to see the players running around again.
Great stuff.
Yeah, thanks very much, Sean. It will cost more to put healthy food on the table this Christmas. The federal government report has confirmed industry fears a shortage of pickers will force up produce prices. Summer fruits and vegetables will cost up to 25% more because there are fewer foreign workers to harvest crops. The good news, though, is some Christmas seafood should be cheaper. The trade stoush with China means rock lobsters are flooding the local market instead of being exported. You're watching 7's Afternoon News. Up next, hotel quarantine resumes in Melbourne, the very latest live. And we'll take a look at the impact of COVID on Melbourne's tourism sector in the coming months. All that and plenty more after a couple of minutes.
He's the biggest star in India today. His name is Virat Kohli. Australia's up against the most formidable rival they've ever faced.
We won't let that phase us. We're playing for all Australians. We will never, ever back down.
Our Aussies take on the might of India.
The first test starts December 17 on 7.
Tried Hungry Jack's Flame Grilled Big Jack? Then meet the new Chicken Big Jack with 2 crispy chicken patties and special sauce. Big Jack beef or Big Jack chicken. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
Meet Jim. He's been an Allianz customer for 5 years. So when he had an accident, he called us and spoke to Tina.
she made the claims process easy and stress-free. And we didn't stop until he was back on the road again. Jim gave Allianz 5 stars and helped our comprehensive car insurance claims experience get an average of 4.4 stars. To join Jim and thousands of satisfied Allianz customers, search for your quote today.
Enjoy an Aussie Christmas at Anaconda. Salomon Daytree Gore-Tex Adult Mid Hikers now $119, save $150. 30% off all clothing by Columbia, Mountain Designs, Marmot and more big brands. Head in store or shop online at anacondastores.com. Anaconda!
What are you up to? You think I don't know what you're doing? I know. Those spines won't protect you. You're mine. Now where are your eyes? Ha-ha!
Whiskers, feed their curiosity.
Open amazing at Lexhibition. With a 1.9% comparison rate across a selected range of Lexus vehicles. Contact your Lexus dealer before December 31st.
There is still magic wherever you are. Yes, there is magic. Stay young in your heart. It's still around us. It never was lost.
Cherish those golden to us with Ferrero Rocher. Fragrant hazelnuts, smooth velvety chocolate, wrapped in precious gold. Ferrero Rocher, say it with gold.
Live from Melbourne, this is 7's Afternoon News with Jacqueline Felgate.
Good afternoon again. The first return travellers have touched down in Melbourne as Victoria's hotel quarantine program resumes. For the state government, the stakes couldn't be higher. Let's bring in state political editor Chanel Valla from Spring Street. Good afternoon, Chanel. It's almost certain we're going to have new COVID cases. The key, though, is keeping it contained.
Good afternoon, Jack. Well, that's exactly right. The government says they are confident in our program, but these programs do not come without risk. 5 flights have already landed in Melbourne. They began coming in around 8 o'clock this morning. That first flight was from Colombo, Sri Lanka. Since then, we've seen flights from Tokyo, Singapore, Hong Kong and the Philippines. Last week, the government said there would be 125 passengers coming in today across 5 different flights. Today, that's more like 253 passengers across those 7 flights. It has taken some time, though, to get those passengers through the airport process. They're brought off in very small groups and they have to go through several health checks before they can get onto the buses to go to the hotels themselves. And people with symptoms, though, they're taken out of the airport immediately and taken straight to hotels. They don't go through the entire process. As for when they get to hotels, what we know is different this time is that there is no fresh air breaks at all. Last time, we know security guards were escorting people outside. That won't happen this time. This time, those hotels are entirely guarded by police. And while the ADF have a role, it will not be in security. But of course, Jack, today we mark 38 days of no active cases. So everyone in Victoria very nervous as this hotel quarantine program resets.
Yes, indeed. Chanel Valla at State Parliament. Thank you. So today is Victoria's 38th straight donut day, and across the state, people are enjoying more freedoms than they have in months. Mask rules have been significantly relaxed. There's no cap on how many people can attend weddings or funerals, and you can now stand and have a beer at the pub and even hit the dance floor if that's your style. And travellers from Victoria and New South Wales will no longer have to quarantine for 14 days when arriving in Western Australia from midnight WA time tonight. Victoria's tourism industry is pleading for certainty on our major events, with no final decisions having been made on the Australian Open tennis and the crowd size at the Boxing Day test. Nick McCallum has more.
On the day the MCC opened the ballot for tickets for the Boxing Day test, the state government confirmed Cricket Australia has asked to increase the number of people allowed in. The MCC has rehearsed for a socially distant crowd of 25,000, but for them and the players, the more the merrier.
Whether there's 5,000 or 105,000, it'll still be the same special moment for us to be able to play in the Boxing Day test. But yeah, it'll be, the more the merrier, isn't it?
or how big the crowd, all functions have been cancelled. That infuriates the organiser because the hospitality industry has opened up so much.
Absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. What we don't understand is why hospitality are allowed to do events and from a corporate perspective we're not.
Across the road at Melbourne Park, still no definitive agreements on the Australian Open tennis. For Harry the Hirer, the Open will provide the first work since March.
We're just thrilled that after 10 months of no work, we're going to have an event. There is a little bit of uncertainty around the start date.
The occupancy rate at Melbourne's hotels is a desperately low 25%, and forward bookings are poor, largely because of uncertainty over our major events.
We need a decision. We do need to know what is the timeline, but also to what levels these events are going to be able to reactivate.
As a result, our tourism industry is having a two-tiered recovery. Regional Victoria is going gangbusters. Melbourne is still struggling.
The first batches of the coronavirus vaccine have been delivered to hospitals across the UK. Britain will be the first country to roll out Pfizer's jab. The first vaccinations are coming tomorrow. Jordan Cutts has the story.
It's here, perhaps the most anticipated delivery any hospital has had all year. The first batch of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine arriving at Croydon University Hospital in the UK.
EGA 553.
This is one of the hospital hubs where they'll start vaccinating from tomorrow. The cases carrying the vaccines were carefully unpacked into freezers. They have to be kept at temperatures below -70 degrees.
NHS staff around the country at vaccination hubs such as this one we're here at today have been working tirelessly to make sure that we are prepared to commence vaccination on Tuesday.
With 40 million doses on order, the first in line will be people over 80 and frontline health workers.
This feels like the beginning of the end, but of course it's a marathon, not a sprint, and it will take many months for us to vaccinate everybody who needs vaccination.
But as vaccinations begin, people are being warned that following COVID restrictions and advice has never been more important. In Nottingham, these scenes at the weekend forced organisers of a Christmas market to permanently shut it down after just one day.
It was complete chaos as far as I was concerned. I went to have a look and there were thousands of people all partying, having a really good time.
The city in England's Midlands is under strict COVID restrictions, many residents questioning why the event was allowed to go ahead. More than 17,000 new cases were identified across the UK on Sunday. Jordan Cutts, 7 News.
We have more reaction coming in now after a jury failed to reach a verdict in former NRL star Jared Haynes' rape trial.
I told the truth and I'll do it all again. So.
How are you feeling after the outcome?
Oh, disappointed, but...
Do you wish you'd treated that woman differently that night? Do you wish you'd done things differently that night, Jared?
Did you mean to hurt her?
Should you have treated her?
Any words, sir, on the verdict? Or lack thereof?
What's Mr. Hayne doing?
I can't make any comments, so...
Hayne has always denied the allegations and will now have to wait for a decision on a retrial. A breakthrough in IVF procedures is offering new hope for people trying to conceive. Human trials are being planned for a specialised new technique which boosts the prospect of a pregnancy. Jodie Lee has the details.
1 in 6 Australian couples struggle with infertility. The process of assisted reproduction can be expensive, emotionally taxing and, in some cases, take years. But a new technology developed by researchers here at Monash University could speed up the fertility process. Scientists have been able to separate viable from weaker sperm using sound waves.
The way that the device works is we have all the cells, debris, dead cells, bad sperm, good sperm flowing in the channel, and then we kind of apply a transverse force where we try to push the good cells out of that mainstream.
The device they have developed can process about 140 sperm per second and select more than 60,000 in under 50 minutes. It automates an otherwise labour-intensive and complex job.
The main benefit is it's kind of like an automated process. It doesn't need a very skilled and experienced embryologist or lab scientist to work with the device. They just sit there and run the selection process until they prepare the egg for IVF process.
The device has so far only been tested on animal samples, but researchers hope to begin human trials next year. If successful, the technology could be made available to Australian families in as little as 2 years.
Woolworths has unveiled a huge new supermarket with 900 workers but no customers. Network Finance editor Gemma Acton explains.
Woolworths has just opened its 5th online-only fulfilment centre in Australia, creating 900 new jobs just before 2020 draws to a close. The new roles are a mix of full-time, part-time and casual positions and follow from a sharp spike in online orders for the supermarket giant in the past 12 months. Online orders more than doubled over the 3 months from July to September compared to just a year ago, and now make up 8% of Woolworths' total sales.
It's really important that we continue to invest in online infrastructure to make sure we stay ahead of our customers' demands through the near future.
The 15,000 square metre site is the size of 12 Olympic swimming pools and the company's largest online fulfilment centre in the country. While the triple-digit rate of growth in online shopping is expected to slow as social restrictions continue to loosen across the country, the underlying trend towards the convenience of buying groceries online is expected to keep winning over new customers.
If you think about how much time you spend each week, not just shopping for groceries, but also the travel to and from the stores, shopping online can save you all of that time.
Across the industry, supermarkets are ploughing hundreds of millions of dollars into developing their online shopping capabilities in anticipation of this ongoing demand.
Political leaders from across the divide have united to launch the Kmart Salvation Army Wishing Tree appeal at Parliament House. Prime Minister Scott Morrison donated books he purchased from his local store in Cronulla. Millions of gifts have been donated to children in need across the country since the initiative began 30 years ago. Almost 12 months after last summer's bushfire disaster, 14 rescued koalas have finally been returned to their homes. That's up next. Plus, putting the toys to the test ahead of Christmas. And see what happens when there's a fire in a fireworks factory. We're back soon, right here on 7.
Think you will crush me?
Oh, I know I will.
Tonight, 8:30.
Andy?
It's Captain!
It's getting hot.
Office, now.
From the producers that know how to do steamy.
I'm not the kid next door anymore.
Comes the next fiery new drama.
Mayday! 500 down!
New Station 19. Tonight, 8:30 on 7. Can't wait. The entire first season is now streaming for free on 7+.
Save Santa from disappointment. Get his favourite cookies in the whole wide world. Only $1 at Subway.
Enjoy an Aussie Christmas at Anaconda. Up to 50% off all tents by Spinnerbecks and Austrail. And a Christmas gift for you. Get a $150 gift card when purchasing any Dometic CFX3 fridge freezer. Head in store or shop online at anacondastores.com. Anaconda!
A lot of people have sensitive teeth, but gum health is really important. The new Sensodyne Sensitivity in Gum toothpaste not only deals with sensitivity, it also maintains gum health. 2 benefits from 1 toothpaste. What a great idea.
Beat the heat this summer with Braemar Fresh Air Conditioning, saving up to 80% in running costs. Braemar, quietly providing year-round comfort to Australian families for over 80 years. Search Braemar.
With the finest scored and roasted leg ham, Australian truffle wild boar salami, and juicy half leg ham, you can go full Christmas for less at Aldi.
This Christmas is about the little somethings. A little something that says, I get you. A little something that is totally them. A little something to give them a bit of a laugh. A little something you know they've been wanting to try. Or a little something for when they've indulged. And now more than ever, a little something can really mean a lot. So find a little Christmas something at Priceline Pharmacy.
The spirited traveller is ready to explore the open road once more. Longing for freedom and to get back to nature, they seek out their own quiet piece of paradise. Rekindle your spirit of discovery. Sail into the Tassie road trip you've been dreaming of with Spirit of Tasmania. Come aboard. Be a spirited traveller.
Save Santa from disappointment. Get his favourite cookies in the whole wide world. Only $1 at Subway.
They'll try to sweet-talk you.
You're a beautiful lady.
They'll try to outwalk you.
You have to wonder what they're thinking.
Motorway Patrol, tonight on 7.
14 little Aussie survivors, koalas rescued from last summer's bushfires, have been released into their natural environment. Let's bring in Dr. Leanne Wicker, the senior vet who's been managing this release for Zoos Victoria. Leanne, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Can you talk us through, firstly, exactly how these koalas were found and what they've been through?
Well, these koalas were sadly injured in those terribly devastating fires that affected Victoria in January this year. Since then, they have gone through an incredibly intensive veterinary care period. We've then transferred them into big, beautiful pre-release enclosures where they regained their strength and their fitness before release. And now here they are, back in the wild, back home where they belong.
It's such a wonderful story, and I saw some of your reactions to seeing them climbing back up the trees in the wild for the first time. What did that mean to the whole team to actually see such a success in the end for these animals?
You know, I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? You know, when you see these animals coming in and they're so badly injured, and we know that we can help them, but we know that it's going to be a long road for them and stressful. You know, getting them through that and back here to the wild where they belong, it's almost indescribable. It's a really beautiful feeling.
Oh,
yeah.
I think it's the good news story we all need right now. Can you tell us a little bit about how you're tracking them and their progress in the wild?
Yeah, it's really exciting, actually. It's a world first. We haven't ever done this before with this intensive monitoring of bushfire-affected koalas. With, you know, there's been other projects looking at how they go, but this is really different. We're really closely monitoring their health and welfare, so we're radio tracking them, and we've also got GPS monitors on them really intensively. So every day to begin with, we're monitoring how they go, where they move, how they cope with their surroundings. We'll be doing that for the next 4 months before we take the collars off. And then we're also doing things like collecting some scat, so some koala poops from the ground, and that gives us amazing information that will allow us to track these animals well into the future as well. Hopefully we'll be able to involve community as well, so that's really great.
Oh, it's great to hear, and we wish you all the best with the project.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us, Leanne.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Choosing the right Christmas gift for the kids can be tricky, but don't despair. Santa's Little Helpers have compiled a list of this year's most sought-after toys that's sure to make a good impression on Christmas morning. And as Elise Baker reports, the pandemic has thrown up a few surprises.
Around 500 children and their families were surveyed to work out what the hottest toys this Christmas will be.
With coronavirus meaning more playtime at home this year, activity toys and building sets have proven to be extremely popular.
So it's not just pulling them out of the box and they're ready to play, they actually have to build something or create something and use their imagination.
Some of the hottest toys for 1- and 2-year-olds include Lego Duplo sets, the classic Little Tikes car, and a toy puppy that talks back to you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. The Australian Toy Association found when it comes to 3- to 5-year-olds, Bluey is a big hit, with a backyard barbecue playset and a bike range making it into the top 10 hottest toys for this age group. Hot Wheels lives up to its name. Kinetics tiles and a Trolls trampoline also made the cut. And for the 6- to 10-year-olds, they're into their tech, with smartphones and watches topping the list, as well as a camera that allows kids to create their own digital videos.
You can actually take video in front of a green screen and you have Other things like dragons appear behind you.
What's perhaps not as hot this year, the collectibles range, as we move away from impulse buys to products that are more expensive but last longer.
The sky over southern Russia has erupted in colour when a fireworks factory caught fire. The fireworks were being stored for New Year's Eve celebrations. No one was injured. You're watching 7 News. We're back with Mike Amor and Jane Bunn straight after the break.
The ultimate test does not stop here.
If you thought that was hard, times that by 10.
SAS UK is it. The mountains are the harshest of terrains you'll come across.
Let's go!
This is where modern day warfare is.
Do not let the team down! Do not let your brothers down!
You will go through a phase where you wonder whether you're going to survive.
The recruits are either going to fight through the pain or they're going to quit. Are you ready?
SAS UK, tonight on 7 Mate.
Lucky! I'm Tran. And I'm Han. We started Poppy Smack to bring people together. Growing up in Vietnam, we learned to cook watching our dad. The whole family would often come together and share food. And we love to bring this connection to people that we meet at our market stores.
But this year, all the events has been cancelled. Now, you can find your nearest stockist or purchase our sauce online at poppysmack.com.au.
Lucky, you're with Amy.
Sorry, I'm late, everyone.
Hi.
I
Morning,
really had my
Mary.
hands full this morning.
Ben,
so first
from
point of...
Finance.
Did someone say KFC?
What can you get for Christmas at Kogan.com? You can sniff a gift, lift a gift, re-gift a gift, float a gift, sink a gift, hit a gift, or 6 and out. Get it quick smart at Kogan.com.
Choose real industry experience. If your choice of uni doesn't offer professional placements, internships or industry-linked projects, choose again. Choose Swinburne.
The new Ford Escape with wireless charging pad doesn't need a dramatic location. The new everyday effortless Ford Escape. No advertising trickery required.
OMG, what a night. I probably look like... Shut up, my skin looks amazing.
New Olay Retinol 24 Night Serum. Look how plump and bouncy. Girl, it really works.
Domino's $5 pizzas are incredible value. 7 awesome recipes, all made with fresh dough, vine-ripened tomato sauce, and stretchier, tastier mozzarella. $5 pizzas, no voucher required. At Domino's.
Gift yourself more time this Christmas. Shop online with Woolworths Direct to Boot. Helping you share the spirit of Christmas. Woolworths.
In the countdown to Christmas, Better Homes gave to me heaps of yummy food, festive decorations, crazy Christmas trees, and loads more ideas and recipes. We've got every minute of Christmas covered. Merry Christmas! Better Homes Countdown to Christmas starts tonight on 7.
Let's head out to the newsroom now, and Mike Amor is working on tonight's edition of 7 News at 6. Hello, Mike. There's a new twist in a 40-year-old murder mystery.
This one's intriguing, Jack. Police have revealed investigations into the cold case murder of Maria James at a Thornbury bookshop could lead to criminal action. But her sons fear potential witnesses could die before a coronial inquest into the 40-year-old case begins. The inquest today suffered another delay with the court hearing. Police were conducting further investigations. Also tonight, a worrying story about 2 dogs who escaped from their owner's home. One was found with a gunshot wound. The other is still missing, but neighbours have told the owner they heard 2 gunshots. Police are now investigating. Those details, along with all today's top stories in 7 News tonight at 6, Jack.
We'll see you then. Thank you, Mike. Let's take a quick look now at Melbourne's roads.
Good afternoon, I'm Jess in the Chisholm Institute Traffic Chopper, just having a look at the Westgate Freeway. As you can see, traffic coming up and over the bridge, absolutely beautiful this afternoon. Same goes for the city-bound trip, nothing to worry about there right through to the tunnel. But if you're doing the outbound trip on the Monash, you'll be struggling near Clyde Road for a broken down truck. Whether it's a fresh start, a new career, reskill or upskill, whatever the reason, you can chase your calling now with Chisholm. Visit chisholm.edu.au. Have a good night.
Time for an update on the weather with Jane Bunn now. Hello, Jane. It is a bit chilly for summer.
Jack, indeed, we have entered a summer cold snap, but it doesn't last long. We'll be back to hot weather by the weekend. It only reached a top of 17 today. That is 7 degrees below average. And that was the peak. Mid-afternoon, it was just 12. That is thanks to these showers. They bring a downpour, gusty winds and that drop in temperature. But they move, so a few minutes later, it's sunny again and the temperature recovers. Then another downpour and it just keeps on repeating. Exactly why Melbourne is so famous for its changeable weather. It is chilly right now where there's just been a shower, so that's at the airport in Essendon, 12 and 13. The city sitting on 17 until the next shower hits. This showery weather stretches over much of the state. It was warm at first in the east, but the cold air is spreading right through there as well. Some of these showers have rumbles of thunder and wintry hail. It has dropped down to just 11 in Traralgon, 10 at Ballarat, the top of Mount Buller hovering between 0 and 1. The warm weather ended when a cold front moved through, but the second disturbance that is in behind it, this one here, that signals the chilliest part. That continues moving through overnight, and we are left in a cool airflow tomorrow. So these showers continue this evening and it turns cold enough for snow to fall on the Alps. It dries up in the north early tomorrow and the south during the day tomorrow. We are left pretty chilly on Tuesday, but warm weather isn't far away. And the weekend actually looks good. We should have several days in a row of higher temperatures. Around the nation, it reached the low 30s in Sydney today, tomorrow just 22. Hobart cloudy, the slight chance of a shower 19. Adelaide only 18 today, it rises to 22 tomorrow, mid-30s by the weekend. To Victoria, all dry in the north, clouds slowly clearing southwards. Grey skies for much of the day in the south with showers mainly over western Gippsland. Cool in moderate southwesterly winds, breezy near the coast. Melbourne, just 18, grey skies. Showers over southeastern suburbs, mostly dry for the rest. But by Wednesday, it is lovely. Bright sunshine, back up to 25. You'll like that, Jane.
I will indeed, and I'm looking forward to the weekend too.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jane. And that's all from 7's newsroom this hour. Mike Amors here at 6, and I'll see you back here tomorrow at 4. From now, from the team, have a great afternoon.